Welcome to the guide for Ace, a character in the new Spy vs. Spy PvP game Deceive Inc. I'm Black Talon, no intros here, let's get right to the guide so you can properly play the cards you are dealt. Now, Ace is categorized as a tracker character, and trackers focus on finding, singling out, and hunting down targets. Ace is equipped with not only abilities that help her to track down her enemies, but also they can do bonus damage and hinder them in a variety of ways, making it even more difficult for them to escape her gaze. Ace is one of the characters available immediately when starting the game, and she can be used with an aggressive or passive playstyle. However, she does flourish significantly with players that are patient and observant overall. She is more of a long-range character, but you can still succeed if you are good at hip firing. Now, learning to hip fire properly may take some practice, but it is well worth it to take the time to get it down so that way you always have this ace in the hole. Let's get into more details of this character build. Starting with her expertise or active ability, there are 3 different variations. First, Ace has her Queen's Gaze ability. This ability will track Ace's enemy by leaving a red trail that will lead Ace to their current location. This will be automatically applied to the last rival hit within a certain time window upon activation, or it will apply to the currently scoped target. Now, there are a lot of clever ways that you can use this ability. For example, you might use it to just keep a tab on somebody that you suspect, just so you can keep an eye on where they're going. If you're in a skirmish with a rival and they flee, you may even use this ability to keep a trail on them so that way you can hunt them down and finish them off. This can be helpful because when they get to a safe spot and they get their cover back on, they may think they're safe, but really, you can take this time to charge up a devastating blow and put them on the reels. This ability will even track enemies like Larson who go invisible, so he will not be able to escape Ace's tracking power, but it will even track where he goes in his invulnerable state. Now, her second variation is called Stacked Odds. Ace will apply a vulnerable debuff on her last hit rival or the currently scoped target. Now, this debuff paired with some of Ace's other weapons and abilities can create almost a one-shot capability, as we will talk about in a little bit. Her last variation, Big Blind, will mark a large zone and pretty much give Ace wall hacks, as she will be able to see whoever is in that zone from any distance or even behind any obstacle. Some clever ways you might use this ability is if you're on the outside of a security room, you may mark the inside of that room through an open door or window. This way you'll be able to see who's in that room and who makes their way toward the terminal door. Then you'll be able to surprise them when they exit. Or you may mark a room to see if someone in there is moving a little bit out of the NPC shuffle, and then you can find out who they are and take your shot. Now, not many people tend to use this ability, but some might have some clever ways to do it. So if you have some really unique ways that you use this ability, why don't you link them down in the comments. But let's take a look at Ace's weaponry. So Ace is equipped with 3 different variations of high-powered rifles. Her original variation, Queen of Diamond, is a powerful scoped sniper. This is very useful for hitting targets from a distance, although when they're close up, you may have to switch to hip firing to compete with them. Her second variation, Jack of Diamond, is a reflex sight carbine rifle that is effective at mid-range encounters. So if you find yourself wanting a balance between long-distance shooting and close encounters, I would recommend this variation. Her last variation is the big and bad King of Diamond. Now, why the Jack comes between the King and the King, I'm not sure, but I guess you'll just have to deal with it. Okay, so this is a single-shot bolt-action sniper rifle. It is very powerful, but takes a long time before you can fire it again. Fittingly. With that in mind, using this weapon does require patience or a really good shot. You don't want to get into too many close encounters where you have to try to launch out these single bolt shots when everybody else can shoot much faster, and it may put you in a bad area. However, if you can be patient and land a good critical hit, it can put you in a good spot in any skirmish. But as we are about to discuss, you can almost one-shot rivals using this rifle. And to discuss how this is possible, let's take a look at Ace's passives. Now, all of her passives involve charging her next shot by ADSing or being scoped for a short period of time. Her first variation is called Diamond's Best, and as Ace is scoped, she will charge up her next shot to do bonus damage. Now to get the most out of this, using this passive along with her King of Diamonds rifle on a vulnerable target will hit them so hard if you get a headshot that the next shot, no matter where it is, and it doesn't have to be charged, it will take them down. That is extremely powerful. This gives Ace the ability to two-shot any rival. And if Ace initiates, you can ensure that your first hit will be that critical hit, making any fight very simple and easy. Her second variation is Crippling Shot. Ace's next charge shot will now slow her rivals, allowing you to follow up much easier or to catch them if they flee. And her final passive, Cover Flush, like Royal Flush in poker, will charge her next shot. And if this shot hits a rival, they will be unable to regain their cover for a short period of time. Now, this is really useful if you hit your target who is around guards, because they will lose their cover and not be able to regain it. So the guards will do most of the damage, leaving it very easy for you to just follow up and take them down since they're in a bad spot. Now what about gadgets for Ace? Well, as always, there are an array of gadgets to choose from, and ultimately the right gadgets you pick depend on your playstyle and how you engage and want to work a map. So don't feel that my suggestions are the best, you can pick whatever you like based on your preference. For Ace, however, she can benefit well from many different gadgets coupled with her unique build to help her excel on the map and also in different fights. For example, you may find it difficult to fight in close range, so a turret may help you stand your ground. That way you can have some damage that goes out to even targets that get really close to you. Bounce pads can also be useful, as you can use them to get into a high vantage point on a map and get into a secure place to watch sensitive areas. You can even couple this with the recon drone to mark enemies in that area and keep an eye on them. That way you can shift your vantage spot a little bit and always be able to track them down with that surprise shot. I even think that the Bulletbrella can be useful to Ace in close fights, as she can put down her shield and be able to charge up her ADS shots and easily land them on her target without being exposed. Now when it comes to field upgrades, the ones that you want to use are completely up to you based on your playstyle and how you want to work a map. For me, due to her minimal ammo, I do put a little bit of extra ammo on her since she uses a rifle. I also opted for the social battery chip. Now I know many people don't usually utilize this chip where it gives you health when you're in a social interaction, but I personally find it very useful because when I play Ace, I play very patiently looking for the right target. So typically if I get out of a fight and I'm a little damaged, I'll just sit in a social interaction and get my health back up while I'm on my recon drone searching for my next target. Now some tips that you can utilize to help you play Ace is that she is a long range character, so sometimes it can be really hard to fight up in close, and some people now realize that it is difficult for Ace to fight in close range battles, so they may even rush you to make it difficult for you to fight back. With this in mind, don't underestimate the power of a turret and also your melee. That melee could even save your skin in some circumstances. Much of the success of this character also can really depend on if you initiate a fight. We see as a tracker character, it really leads the way for them to be the first ones to initiate. So you want to initiate a fight and be patient there, so that way you can land that critical hit charged up and get the most damage on them as you can, so it will affect the way that they fight. Typically they may flee from you at that point, and it may be even easier to take them down from there. Also, do not be afraid to utilize hip firing with Ace, as this is the more common way you may put in some damage in a fight. It is less likely that you'll be able to be fully scoped in a skirmish and land out those shots, so get used to being able to hit targets without the scope. That's all I have for Ace. Give the video a like if you find this helpful, subscribe if you want to see more of my guides and content. And typically as part of my main videos, I always shout out a smaller channel to help them grow and get exposure. So if you believe in my cause, please support this channel so that way we can build a bigger platform for those that put their heart and soul into content and just need a little bit more help to succeed. But thank you guys for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.